Ah. How do I? Ooh, I might have to stop. Pause. My pause. Oh, here we go. When I slide, when I'm outside, how do I? Because y'all don't want to hear this stuff, so I'm gonna turn all this crap down. Yeah, y'all don't care about that. That. Y'all just want to talk. Alrighty, trying something new. I know I ain't been live in so long, but figure I play the game. I'm setting up a new little area for myself, so it's one reason why I haven't been live. So it's a work in progress. And let me turn this music down. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. For you. Let's see. So it's a little impromptu live stream. Spring about to start, y'all. What y'all think about spring's about to start? What's up, Dino, Joe Johnson, Vontae, Island Boy? What's good? What up? What up? What up? So, how many games before Mike is gone? Great question. That is a great question. Do I want to play this or do I want to? Y'all want to watch me play this or y'all want to watch me play um, college football? What y'all want? Anyway, yeah, this PS5. But how many games? I mean, Joe, I'm gonna try to be. I'm trying to be positive. Let's hope that Mike finds a way to win some football games. How about that? Let's try to speak that into existence. If we lose that second game, he got to go. What's the second game of the season? Sorry, I don't know on the top of my head. What's the second game of the season? It shows you just how much I've really been paying attention to Florida State football, y'all. What's the second game of the season? Uh, White Willie got to do better. White Willie is crazy. Real talk, Joe. I don't even know what the second game. I really like real deal. Haven't. What is the second game? Isn't Bama? We're not. Isn't Bama the second game? Am I tripping about that, or isn't Bama the second game? Island Boy says because we don't know. Let me. Guess I'd have to get on my phone. Do you think SMU is a fireable offense? Oh no, is SMU a fireable offense? Bama the fourth or fifth? Is Bama that late? Y'all not. I thought y'all'd be more confident in your boy. I mean, he had a press conference today. Um, I mean, I didn't watch it, so y'all can tell me about it. I actually hate the way that this this coach has made me feel about just Florida State. I haven't cared. I really haven't cared. I really haven't cared about what's been going on. I know spring's about to start. How much are we really supposed to care about spring when there's no spring game? Believe it or not, I got them winning that game, but who knows? Which one, SMU or Bama? I mean, they beat Bama last year, so right, anything's one thing we know, right? Anything's possible. So we know anything's possible. SMU, SMU. I mean, this is one of them. I'm gonna treat this offseason a lot like I treated last year's offseason. To be honest with you, we played New Mexico State first, SMU, Bama, and Central Arkansas. Okay. Um, I'm gonna treat this offseason like I treated the last one. I guess there's the spring, right? But there's no spring game, which again, given what Mike Norvell has done in previous springs, I don't think it's that big of a deal because I feel like the way he ran spring before just wasn't conducive to anything positive. I'm not going to go to the game this season. I'm not going to a game this season. I went to the SMU game 2 years ago and that Stanford game last year. Not wasting money this time. So 2-2 to start. Um, so I've never been a fan of the way Mike runs his spring anyway. So probably, um, from a football standpoint, it's like whatever, right? However, one would argue they would try to generate as much revenue as possible. And from that standpoint, give the fans something, right? Like give the fans something. And so from that standpoint, I don't agree with no spring. Give the fans something to go watch. Like, right? Like, so I don't understand that aspect of it. What do y'all think about the no with the second year in a row? And I did hear or read, I didn't hear, but I read a quote from Norvell basically saying that's becoming the norm in college football is no spring games. Is it? Is that really becoming the norm? Do we believe that? The database says the investment of time and money isn't worth it. You don't think so? I guess. I feel like you got to give the fans something. That's just me, though. You want fans to pay. I always hear them talking about donate. You want things to change. You want the program to be better. Donate your money. Well, give the fans something to go to. Give the fans something to go to. Give the fans a reason to want to donate. Shout out to FAMU. Because at this point, Gregory, I'm not sure anybody is here to argue about how good or bad Florida State football is. So, yeah. What am I? I'm looking for something. How do I get to where I'm trying to go? This is where I'm trying to go. How do I get there? Yeah, fast travel. But We'll see how it plays out. Let's see here. Okay, we'll stick with hard. Let's see. I'm interested to see. I mean, I want to be interested to see like the quarterback. Your guys will be fine once that contract expires. Well, if that's the case, we'll never be fine. When's that contract expiring? But I'm interested to see if and when their quarterback. This game is called the Division. Yeah, I see that mess that's going on. I'm gonna say, yeah, this Capitol Hill's a joke. This country's becoming a joke if it's not already a joke. Whole bunch of shit going on. I don't know why we're worried about NIL. But anyway, we're not gonna get into that because that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, this game's a division, and they put out some weights. I did see on Twitter. Of a list of guys. Say Ashton Daniels weighing like 230 pounds. I think. I mean, I guess if he can still run, I guess cool. Um, I saw Kevin Wynn lost weight, which I think might be good for him. He didn't lose a ton of weight. I think he lost like 8 pounds. Went from like in the 330s, excuse me, like down to the high 320s. I don't remember everything off the top of my head. Not that any of that correlates to whether a guy's good or bad. I want to see what Ernie does with the backers. Yeah, I think we all want to see uh, some type of growth at every position. Don't I mean? At least I do anyway, right? I want to see some type of growth at every position. Where is these niggas? Am I? Did I start the? I don't even think I started the mission. I didn't. I'm just going through the level and didn't start the mission. Running back one. I expect running back one to be Wisner. I think FSU I think you want I think in this case you got wants and needs. You feel me? And I think if you're an FSU fan, if you're Florida State, you want and need Chroma to kind of be that guy. Um, but it's kind of a wait and see there, right? So we got to wait and see. Wisner's coming to probably to start. We'll see. I low key expect that, but we'll see. I don't think you can sleep on Sam. You feel me? Like I don't feel like you can just sleep on Sam while at the same time, um, is Sam better in spurts or is Sam Singleton back? I guess we won't know until we see. I think if you're a Florida State fan, you kind of want and need Chroma to be that dude. Now, whether or not I still have my reservations. Not gonna lie, I still not PK Sam, Singleton. But anyway, um, I still got my reservations on Chroma to be not that again. I've said this before, and I know I haven't been live in a while, but I probably say this every time I do go live. I think Chroma is a good player. I don't think he's the elite talent, premier program changing back that people have tried to hype and boost him up to be. Um, but FSU kind of needs him to be that. You feel me? So we'll see how it plays out. But right now, I expect Wisner. And my bad if I'm missing comments. I'm shooting niggas in the face and trying to read y'all's comments. So just bear with me. I'll get to the comments, so don't worry. And I'm trying not to die. Yeah, this is the division. Oh, Scott blown up. Chroma is Carlos. Ooh, I wouldn't even go that far. I'm gonna be. Please don't sleep on the caliber of athlete that Carlos Williams was, and I don't believe Chroma is that. Like size wise, okay, you can make that comparison. That's a fair comparison as far as their stature and how they're built. But bro, Los was 6'2", 220 plus, and was running 4.4. I have not seen Chroma run any, at least as a freshman. At no point did I watch Chroma and go, "Oh, he's got a burst." Like Chroma don't have that level of burst that Los had. Los was a pure athlete, which is why he could play safety and running back, right? So I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far. I just don't think he's that. Ooh. Let's do it though. Just that you brought up the running back. Well, let's just go position by position and talk about who appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, I know it's a little impromptu live and nobody even knew. So I mean, if we only keep 12 people in here, I'm cool. I'm just chilling, playing the game. Chroma has the potential to be a program changer with better coaching and guidance. Carlos' overall skill set was higher. As a running back, they're the same. Chroma isn't even Jay-Sean Corbin. Ooh. Corbin was a lot better than people give him credit for. But yeah, I like I like this. Let's go position by position. I mean, we're on running back, so we'll stick with running back. So didn't we get a guy from F? So I know we got Wisner, Sam Singleton, Chroma. Didn't we get a guy from FAU to play? I forget that guy's name, but I'm pretty sure didn't we get him? And then of course we got the true freshman, which you're not going to put a lot of expectations on him, correct? I think FSU offense is going to be really good next year. It just maybe. William, what you drinking on tonight, fam? Yeah, Sands. Do anybody think Sands competes in this in that running back room, or is he just a body? What do you guys think? Or is he what do you guys think? You think Sands is a legit option, a legit weapon, or is he a guy that you just got in case injuries? Vic says no. He doesn't think Sands is a legit option. Okay. You think Chroma is a hell no? Y'all are putting Chroma again. Fournette. Y'all remember Fournette? First of all, do y'all remember that running back class with Dalvin, McCaffrey, Fournette? That's what we're talking about here. And pretty much every all the top running backs in that class, almost all hit. No, Chroma's not a Fournette. I don't. No. Y'all, our offensive line was not bad last year. If Chroma was Fournette, he would have been the starter by mid-season easily. We done turned delusional after these terrible. I don't want to say anybody's delusional. I think people are just asking, fair. They're asking questions, but no, Fournette that's no. No, no. We'll see though. We'll see what Chroma does in his sophomore year, right? We'll see. Again, I think he's a good, talented player. Um, I just don't know if he's a feature back, right? But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Talking footwork, he reminds you of Fournette. Okay, I haven't looked at it like that, so I won't say you're right or wrong on that. Because I'll be honest, I haven't put that much in depth look. Um, so yeah, we're still on running backs. Before we switch over, we're gonna go a little bit backwards and go from running back to quarterback. Anything else on the running backs? Again, we talked a little bit about Sands. I guess nobody really thinks Sands is an option. I guess everybody's pretty much Wisner, Chroma, sprinkling some Sam Singleton. That's probably your rotation, right? Anybody think anybody else pops up? Probably not. I would probably guess not. Not. So if we ain't got nothing left on the running back, I'm getting shot. Wait a minute. We got nothing else on backs. Quarterback, which low key that might be the most scary. Ooh, low key might be the most scary position on this team. So I think William, you said a top 10 offense. I don't know, with all due respect, William, how you can say that. And I get it. Like you're a fan, you want to be positive. There's no way you look at that off. There's no way you look at that quarterback room and see top 10 off. Like unless we're running the wing T, we're running wing T, triple option, old Georgia Tech joint, some Navy football, Air Force football, Army football. We're running that stuff. Okay, I still not a top 10 offense, but top 10 running game for sure. Uh, but because that's not what we're running, I I don't know. That quarterback room is nasty work. We couldn't tell he was a feature back because he was rotating backs. Chroma should have got the bulk of the carries. Should have. You could argue he should have got the bulk. I would argue Sam should have got more opportunity. Unlike Chroma, again, and this is just my opinion. I know we're jumping around here. This is just my opinion. I felt like when Sam got opportunities, he flashed. I didn't feel like when Chroma got opportunities, he flashed. I felt like Sam should have got more opportunities. Um, Again, not saying Sam's better than Chroma. Don't know that. Um, he's been in college a year longer. He's a little bit more experienced. I thought Sam Singleton, when he got opportunities, he took advantage of them. I don't feel like Chroma did that. And again, maybe that's just the freshman, right? Doesn't mean that Chroma's the finished product. Um, I'm trying not to die and read y'all comments, so bear with me. I mean, I think they go Sperry and terrible. You think they go Sperry? Okay, yeah, about to get blown up trying to read y'all stuff. uh, it should be open competition. I said that from the moment they acquired. So my whole belief. Okay, this is my timeline. This is my personal timeline. Oh, don't run! Look at this chump ass running. My personal belief was always go out, get a top quarterback out of the portal. That's your starter. When they decided that Ashton Daniels was their guy, I switched and said, okay, instead of that, while I'm not a believer in Kevin Sperry, again, that's just me, he deserves the chance to at least beat out Ashton Daniels of all people. Like he at least deserves that opportunity. And so for me, then you went and added two more quarterbacks from low tier, right? From FCS and like Division Two. Um, So you went and added 3 quarterbacks in this offseason. You 100% you should be having an open quarterback competition at this point. 110%. Oh, I agree with Dang Bay. They are not getting a portal quarterback just to get. I 100% agree with that. Ashton Daniels will be your starter year one. I want y'all to realize that. I know I'm looking up at the screen, but I'm looking at the camera now. Ashton Daniels will be your starter year one. This year, sorry, year one, year 7. Excuse me. Ashton Daniels will be your guy. But what I'm getting at is it should be an open comp. It should be an open comp, and I think even with an open competition, I think here's the major problem. Ashton Daniels is still probably the best option if it is an open competition. As a matter of fact, he's the only true Division I quarterback on this roster with any experience. We don't know if Kevin Sperry is a Division I quarterback yet, hadn't played in other than, you feel me? So we know the other 2 guys. One has already said he's planning on redshirting. Other dude has played a lot of football, but at a level that, not at Auburn, right? Ashton Daniels, unfortunately, might just be your best option, regardless if it's an open comp or not. Do we think in an open competition that there's anybody in that quarterback room that could actually win the job? Because I'm not so sure. And that's not me endorsing Ashton Daniels. I think that is more of an indictment on the entirety of that room. I said it before and I'll say it again. This might be the worst quarterback room in the history of this program. And if there's a worse one, I would like for anyone to tell me what that is. Daniels will have a short leash. I don't know. I'll say this. If Daniels has a short leash, I'm not sure it's for Kevin Sperry. I think it might be for that other guy, the senior. My question is, was Ashton Daniels Gus's guy? Now Gus is gone. That competition looks different. Here's always been my thing with it, because Mike Norvell continues to kind of get. One thing I just can't seem to always wrap my head around is, and I'm not saying you're doing this. What I am saying is, it seems like Mike Norvell someone tries to always bail Mike out. Oh, TC wasn't Mike Norvell's guy. He was Gus's guy. Or AJ Duffy was Kenny Dillingham's guy. I am getting destroyed. It's always seems to me, this guy is never, Mike Norvell for some reason never gets to pick as the head coach. Again, this is just how it looks. Seems like Mike Norvell never gets to pick his quarterback these days. It's always someone else's a pick at quarterback. As if Mike Norvell doesn't co-sign these roster moves. So that's another indictment of the head coach. If you co-sign a quarterback that you didn't believe in, again, and we're not talking about a defensive coach. Like, this would be different if, I don't know, this was Nick Saban. I'm just using Nick as an example because he's a defensive head coach, and he allowed Gus to kind of run it. Mike Norvell's an offensive coach. Mike Norvell's an offensive coach. He should have a say-so in everything that happens offensively. So whether it's his guy or Gus's guy is irrelevant to me. I look at every player on that roster as Mike Norvell's guy. So I said all that to Sean McGuire is still eligible. I think we may have the best 3 quarterback. I think William is drunk tonight, y'all. Shout out to William. I need to pour me something and get on your level. William, in a matter of about 15 minutes, I think it's been, William has said that FSU is going to have a top 10 offense and has the best 3 quarterbacks. I don't know if he means the best 3 quarterbacks in Florida, the best 3 quarterbacks in the ACC. Hell, Knowing William, he thinks we have the best three quarterbacks in the nation. So shout out to William, man. William's like, well, you're drunk on the job. I won't tell your boss. So yeah, the quarterback position is probably when it comes to offense, that's got to be the red herring, as they say. I think Marshall does. I think Marshall has potential. I actually agree with that. Sperry, I'm just I don't know. I just don't necessarily believe in Kevin Sperry. But that's a beautiful thing is people always get to prove that their doubters wrong. Um, Marshall, I do believe has a pretty big upside. Um, but it's very concerning to me that the plan, at least as for now, is that he's not going to play this year. So I'm only going by what's. Can y'all hear me? Yay, nay? You hear me? I don't know. I don't know if I can be heard yet. Actually, let me check. Let me see if I can be heard. Oh, oh no! Ah, dog it. Oh, okay. Y'all can't hear me. Look at that. About to die. Trying to get my audio straight. Hey, back up. Oh, shit. So I don't even know what we were talking about. I think we were talking about Sperry or just the quarterback room in general. Uh, but let's move on from quarterbacks into one of the more probably room that I'm probably excited about the most as far as the offense goes, and it's got to be receiver, right? Right, you got a legit one in Deuce, right? Like a legit all ACC. You got a legit one in Deuce. I'm very interested to see the growth of Danzy. I still think Danzy has a chance to be really special, um, especially playing alongside a guy like Deuce. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. You know, we got year two of Boggs, maybe healthier, right? Boggs is going to be healthy, even though I don't think that Gus isn't calling the offense, so Mike may utilize that third receiver a little bit better. You got a talented young. I mean, I feel like every year there's one thing I'll say. I feel like every year FSU has a talented young group of receivers we're looking forward to seeing, and they kind of just never pans out. But I do think overall your wide receiver room is talented, a good mix of youth and you know some veterans. Um, so yeah, I'm expecting the from a talent perspective, I think the wide receiver room is the room that you should have the most optimism about. Probably got Lopez, though. I don't know if Lopez is going to factor in as a true freshman. Not so sure about that. Nothing against him per se, I think there's just other guys that are better than him. Um, crooked little. Yeah. So, what is y'all thoughts on the wide receiver room? We optimistic? I mean, obviously, y'all are a little bit more optimistic about the running back room than I am. I don't think anybody's optimistic about this quarterback room. I think that's fair to say. But I think everybody should be high on this receiving room, at least to some degree. Yeah. Gasly and Mallory, I agree. Those are two big body receivers that you know, FSU's going to have at FSU's going to have at its disposal, and they're, you know, red shirts freshmen. So even though you lost a guy like LeWay McCoy, who I think we all wanted to keep and thought he was talented, FSU still has guys. I mean, waiting in the wings. Devin Carter. I low key think you could have something with him. Uh, Jameis Winston's little brother. Do we think we got anything there? Like, I don't know. I think that wide receiver room's got some talent to pair with Deuce, because obviously Deuce is going to get all the attention. It gives someone else an opportunity. Like, Deuce is going to have all the attention. Not McCoy, sorry. Danzy's going to have a lot of attention. They're not going to want to have Danzy a one-on-one going deep with it, really anybody. Like, most defenses are going to want to. So that third guy, whoever that third guy may be, and how the offense looks and how they choose to like utilize that third receiver uh, is gonna be really key. Where Gus didn't really use a third wide receiver. I think Mike Norvell is more inclined to do so, given what we've seen from him in the past to some degree. So again, what are our thoughts? What's our thoughts on that? Am I the only one that's bullish on the wide receiver room, or is everybody kind of in agreement that FSU probably has a sneaky good wide receiver room? The big concern is obviously with receivers is that someone has to give them the ball. That's the big concern with it all, is that someone has to give them the ball. That's why I say, but from a talent perspective, right? I think, hey, you just came right back alive in front of my face. That's crazy. Trying to get that Play-Doh. Let me go to y'all's comments. I'm trying, I'm out here clapping cheeks. So, bro, I killed you. How? Okay, now you're dead for real this time. You think Jameis's brother would be just a guy? I mean, you're probably not wrong. I don't want to say you're probably right. I'll just say you're probably not wrong. Um, not like he was a highly recruited, highly touted prospect. But sometimes, guys outplay their rankings. So we'll see. We'll see what that turns into. I'm not going to doubt a Winston. I'll just put it like that. FSU has the second best receiver room in the ACC. Who has the best? Is it Miami? Does Miami have the best receiving room in the ACC? Obviously, like Malachi Tony's a beast. But who's got the best receiving room in the ACC? if we move on from that, unless anybody got anything else to say about receivers, is there any Miami? Unfortunately, adding so it's Miami. Um, is there any receivers that we haven't mentioned that we should be on the lookout for? What do you guys think about that? Vic says I'm excited about the tight end room. Okay, let's go. Tight ends. Vic, what about the tight end room has you excited? Because like, are we excited because we got Landon back? Are they actually going to utilize Landon? I've said this about Mike Norvell in this tight end room for a while now. It's like outside of Jaheim Bell, who we had for a year, Mike emphasizes so much on like the way he recruits tight ends. You would think FSU targeted. You would think FSU has, you know, multiple 1,000-yard receivers under Mike, 1,000-yard tight ends, excuse me, under Mike Norvell. And it's just not the case. Who's even the starter? Who's the starter at tight end? I don't even know. Lofton went down with the knee injury. Like, is he going to be, if he's healthy, right, is he going to be the guy? What I will agree with you is there's talent in that room. Mike has routinely emphasized getting talent in that room. But man, until I see a tight end actually like emerge to something, it's hard for me to go that I'm excited for it. That's my thing about the tight end room. So me personally, I don't have any real excitement. Come on the tight end room. Damn, who is blowing me up? So I don't have a lot of. It's not that I don't have faith in the tight end room per se. I believe in some of the talent there. I don't have faith that they're going to target it and give it the adequate. Tight ends aren't going to get the adequate like opportunities, in my opinion, to really make the difference. So I don't know. It's just hard for me to have excitement about that room, just given the history of Mike Norvell's offense. He doesn't really emphasize the tight end room, or he doesn't emphasize it the way you would assume he would emphasize it, given the way he pours recruiting into it. But I think that they have good talent there. I do think that there's talented players in that room. Landon stays healthy. I believe he can be an all ACC. I mean, man, those type of predictions. I mean, I ain't mad at you for having them. I don't know how Landon goes from Oh, this man was right on me. It's hard for me to envision the way Landon goes from damn near basically being off the team, um, to becoming all ACC. Right? Crazier things have happened in college football. Don't get me wrong. Oh my God, I'm about to die. Yep, I died. Crazier things have certainly happened. Um, but man, that's a hard sell. I believe he could get 500 done. Well, then he's gonna have to get plenty of targets. So let's just do the math. Let's do the math. Landon Thomason, Landon Thomas is a 500-yard receiver. Deuce Robinson is a what? 1,000-yard receiver, right? What is Danzy? 500 plus yard receiver. I mean, that's what he was last year. And we believe Ashton Daniels throwing all these. what is what is Boggs then? Uh, or is the tight end essentially going to be the third receiver? What are we predicting that these quarterbacks are we? Is FSU going to have a 3,000? Okay, Danzy's 750 plus. Okay, cool. I'm with it. I would love it. How many yards Ashton Daniels throwing this year, y'all? Again, I just want to be clear what we're saying. We can start spitballing numbers all we want. Somebody's got to throw these guys the ball. Somebody's got to throw these guys the ball. FSU throwing for over 3,000 yards. Is like the math's got to math is the point. Y'all know I don't want to be this pessimistic, but I mean the math's got to math. Deuce can't be a 1,000-yard receiver. Danzy be a 750-yard plus. Landon Thomas also be a 500-yard plus. Javon Boggs be a 500-yard plus. I mean, my math ain't amazing, but you can just do that math right there. That means we got a 3,000-yard quarterback. I don't. FSU, if Ashton Daniel, Kevin Sperry, I don't give a damn who it is. Anybody got? We got 3,000-yard quarterback. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do, but I'm willing to bet a pretty good chunk of money that ain't none of those quarterbacks throwing for 3,000 yards. I'll say that. First game, Daniels throws for over 400. William, where do you work? Do you work in the bar? You said you was at work. Yeah, you a bartender or something? What do you do for a living, William? I just need some of that optimism that you have. FSU fans, boy, we be asking for a lot, don't we? Landon Thomas ain't never been an all ACC type player, and he's going into what? His junior? Is he gonna be a junior or a senior this year? Ashton Daniels ain't never thrown for like. Has Ashton Daniels ever thrown for 2,500 yards, let alone 3,000 in a season? Serious question. The optimism is amazing. I need some of it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I do need some of that optimism though. I need. There we go. I 100% need some of that optimism. Bro, get back. He is no what. That's why he drunk on the job. He's the supervisor. It's all making sense. It's all making sense, William. Bro, where are y'all coming from? Daniels threw. That's what I'm saying. Even in Stanford, did he ever throw for 2,500? Like, I'm just asking questions. I don't have the answers, but we just live in the world where we think Daniels is gonna turn into, I don't know, Michael Vick. I mean, hell, I'd be ecstatic if we got like James Blackman caliber of play out of Ashton Daniels. But anyway, let's keep it moving. What about how do we feel about the offensive line? I think that the offensive line is to me big question mark. Big question mark when it comes to that O line. Big question mark. And the reason I'll say that, so he's never thrown for 2,500 yards, Joe. So am I accurate when I ask that question? Has he ever thrown for 2,500 yards? The answer is absolutely not. He hasn't. Let's go to offensive line because I'm not talking about that. Who would we compare Ashton Daniels to? Uh, I'll leave that up there. I don't have a comparison for Ashton Daniels. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I'm pretty sure there's a good one out there. I just don't have it for you. O line. How do we feel about the O line? Excuse me. Like I was saying, I feel like O line is one of the big. To me, O line is one of the big questions. They added some interesting pieces. So your O line could go from your O line could go. It's really I guess you could say this about every position, but your O line could either be pretty good or could be a train wreck. But I'm interested. I've heard some things so far this offseason about Andre Otto. So that, hopefully that's a good sign, right? Heard that Andre Otto is maybe taking that next step. Um, what are our predictions, thoughts? Uh, shut your mouth. What are our thoughts in Trust in Herb? Okay, okay. O line will be doo doo. But I saw we actually locked an actual tackle. You don't expect any. You don't think the O line's going to be good. Interesting. I don't know. I have, and this is based on nothing, but I'm kind of with Vontae on this aspect. I think Herb's going to have these guys coached up fairly decently. So I'm not going to come out here and tell you that this O line will be better than last year's. I think it will be on par with what you got last year. I think he's got pieces to work with. I'm interested to see. There's really two players that I'm really interested in. Maybe three. Though I'm with the acquisitions in the offseason, I'm not sure Sandman necessarily plays. But I am very interested in Andre Otto. I'm very interested in Jonathan Daniels. Those are the two guys, the homegrown FSU talents that I'm going to watch on that O line. And obviously, they brought in a lot of guys in the portal. But those two guys, I'm really interested to see. I think the O-line is a toss-up. But I'm choosing to be a little optimistic about it. I think I will trust in Herb as far as positions, uh, where he's going to use guys, and stuff like that. That's what I will say. Definitely say there. I'm not anticipating like anyone on that O line to be all ACC caliber, but I think as a unit, I think they should be a solid unit. Anybody agree or disagree with that? Joe thinks it'll be interesting. I think it will be interesting. It'll be interesting who plays and where they play, and you did add that freshman All American. I think he's from Troy, if I'm not mistaken. I forget his name. Uh, so you added some guys. You got some of your own guys. So I'm just interested to see her and what he's done with some of these guys. Oh, shout out to Credible. What's up, bro? He hit me with the 9.99. I appreciate that. I really didn't expect anything here on the game live stream, but I can't get you with your video because I'm not on the computer. But I appreciate you, Credible, man, for real. Appreciate that. All love, always. The talent with him at Stanford, no. So his passing numbers are all near 800 yards. Uh, okay. So how many games did he only play 2 games last year at Auburn? Did he? Because Ashton Daniels has been in college 4 years. I want to get. You're right. Let's provide context. So again, in his entire career, he's never thrown for 2,500 yards. Um, didn't have the talent. Didn't have the talent at Stanford. Okay, that's fair. I mean, Stanford still found a way to beat FSU. So when you go to that, when the excuse is that he didn't have talent, that team had enough talent to beat Florida State. Let's be clear about that. I digress. We'll move on. How many years was he at Auburn? 1 or 2 years? And how many starts did he have at Auburn? I also know Auburn had Jackson Arnold, so I don't know how many opportunities he had at Auburn. So you're right. There's context needed for everything. Context needed for everything. Oh, my name was clutching with some hits. I'm optimistic that Toe Cars is gone. That's fair too. Um, so we'll see. Again, I'm done with the quarterback thing though. We talked enough about quarterbacks. I don't believe in Ashton Daniels. It just is what it is. O line, a little more optimistic about that O line. I think that O line could again be. I won't go as far again as to say a superstar O line by any means, but I think you have a quality O line. If you have a quality O line, at a minimum, you should be able to have a quality running game. And maybe, right, when you start playing complementary football, if you can run the ball successfully, RPO game opens up, easy passes to maybe that tight end. Is FSU actually going to utilize the middle of the field this year, which is something they just refused to do last year, whether that was Gus or they just didn't have the quarterback capable of throwing it over the middle of the field? We'll find out because Ashton Daniels isn't 5'9", right? He's all of 6'3", 230 something pounds. So is FSU going to utilize more? So there are things that we're going to have to see how it plays out in real time. That's for sure. So we're going to get to the defense here in a second, but not a lot of people have a lot of things to say about O line, so I'm assuming that they feel it's a competent group, or they anticipate some type of competence. It took so much no to say. My mama used to dig all in my face. Daniels does throw across the middle for sure. So yeah, that's what I'm asking. Is that a Daniels thing or is that the offense thing? So is Daniels going to actually utilize the middle of the field? I would guess by history, the answer to that would be yes. Is Mike Norvell going to be different from Gus and call plays across that middle of the field so where we can get a Landon Thomas or whoever uh, the Z or the slot receiver is? So those are just some of the questions. I'm about to die. But the running game, right? Running game has that opportunity to remedy or play a part in all of those questions that we're also asking, right? If you can run the ball effectively, how much does that open up everything else in this offense? And I do think that that is an important aspect. Okay, so let's go to defense. And we'll just start up top. D line. Do you know what it is? I've had concern about the D line from the moment Daryl Jackson went to the end, graduated, and Amari Williams went to Mississippi State, and you just name it. I don't believe FSU did a good job of keeping the guys that they could have and needed to keep across the D line, and they didn't do a good job of addressing D line needs in the transfer portal. The 3-man front, I continue to see, these what I consider bad takes about the 3-man front. 3-man front doesn't make there's plenty of elite defenses, or has been plenty of elite level defenses that have had 3-man fronts. So this 3-3-5 gets a bad rap, in my opinion. It's more so about the personnel, and that's where you got to go. Oh, I don't think FSU has the. I still don't think in year 2 D line has the personnel to D line with better because of no James Williams. I mean, that is a plus. Addition by subtraction there. You ain't lied when you said that one. I'm still not sure they have adequate personnel across that. I'm still not sure. Like, a whole lot is going to be asked of a guy like Kevin Wynn. I know they got the guy from Texas State. Whatever. I mean, prove me wrong, buddy. But again, whatever there. I think Tylen Lee, I was interested to see what he was or what he was growing into. I was of the assumption he would be closer to 300 pounds because I thought they were moving him inside. Instead, he lost weight down to in the 270s, which tells me he's playing more of a on the 5 tech, if I had to guess, as a full-fledged, jumbo DN. So that's going to be interesting to see. Um, I don't know. I'm just not. Yeah, the D line is a whole lot of questions, and the problem is I don't see a whole lot of answers unless we believe that a lot of young FSU signed a big freshman class across that D line. Is that what we're anticipating? Guy like Rankins and some of these other guys playing a lot of snaps early. I mean, you got the twins back. That's a plus. Having the twins back is definitely a plus. I think I saw something where Tony White was praising Daniel Lyons. Um, I'm not gonna feed into that. Um, Tony White said last year that what was the buddy name? Jaden Jones was the best player on defense. I don't know what happened, but we never saw that guy. That Jaden Jones never fucking emerged. So I'm not gonna buy into the Daniel Lyons hype. However, I will say that if Daniel Lyons can just be an adequate player, that'll do a, a great deal for this football team. Come on, that was trash. We need to cancel the Miami game. No, we don't need to cancel that. McCray was a solid player last year. He wasn't wouldn't call him wouldn't McCray was a adequate football player for sure. Adequate guy for sure. Can he take a step? If he does, that's a good sign. That's definitely a good sign. Twins have all ACC win. Yeah, win is first of all, the middle is the big question to me. Again, a lot of being asked for a redshirt freshman and Kevin Wynn, who couldn't even play last year because of injury. So I'm not, sold on that. And then you got to say, okay, the Texas State guy, who probably I think gets to start over. I think he gets to start over Kevin Wynn. Who's the other? Like, are we just wrote in two trues, no nose tackles? Who's the third guy in that room? Is it Daniel Lyons? Is he the third guy? I don't believe it's going to be McCray. McCray's not going to play in the interior. And I don't think Tylen Lee's going to play in the interior. So I've been concerned about the D-line, I think, from the moment that the season ended. And nothing's happened so far in the offseason that has made me optimistic. Damn. My top so soft. Is there a player on that D line that I'm just forgetting about? I mean, Diggs is still on that D line. I don't know what's that. Is that worth anything? Is there any expectations of Quayshawn? I think it's Quayshawn. Is that something that we should be optimistic about? I mean, who am I forgetting on this D line that maybe can turn the table and be, better than we high hopes for the JUCO kid? Name. Which one are we talking about? We're talking about so we added what, the Texas A&M guy? I haven't heard much of him so far this offseason. What's our thoughts on him? What's our thoughts on him? Back at the Texas A&M edge, the Texas State interior. And you just mentioned Vic, the JUCO edge rusher. If I remember correctly, he's an edge guy. Who am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anybody else? And what are our expectations? I think I would argue the D line is the most concerning unit on that defense. I don't think that's an argument. I think it is by far the most concerning unit on the defense. I mean, that was the problem with the backers last year. That D line was a trope. Like I know the Twins were a bright spot. What about now? Do I have a mic? Dang, it just died on me. Oh, I'm good now. That's weird. Okay, good now. I don't know what happened. Um, what was I saying? I was mentioning is there any true freshmen that we aren't considering that might give us a good amount of reps on that defensive line? That's what I was talking about. Any freshmen? Mm, mm, mm. Those are the freshmen, right? That you're talking about, Joe? And I'll say this. I mean, based on last year, nobody anticipated. I mean, I didn't anticipate the Twins to be that good. So, is it possible? And FSU signed a pretty decent sized D line class. It's possible that you got a guy or two that we're not anticipating as far as freshmen go to contribute. So I think the D line is the weakest unit. However, I'll give Terrence Knighton a bunch of heat for the way he recruits per se. However, he showed, you know, at least with the true freshman, that he could get something out of them. Maybe he can do the same. And I'm just saying that. And I'm not even a Knighton fan, but I'm trying to have a little bit of positive outlook there. Rankins, Whitley, yeah. So imagine if Rankins and Whitley can give you Mandrill and Daryl Desir type effort and numbers. You might be cooking with something. Am I right or wrong on that one? Like, maybe there's a little bit of reason for some optimism. Maybe there's a little bit of reason for some optimism on that defensive line. 1 second. Shut up. Isaiah. Well, he's from what I saw. He's not participating in the spring at all, right? From what I understand. It doesn't mean he can't be ready for the fall. I'm just saying we won't have a. Let's go on. Let's go ahead and move to backer because that's fair. Well, before that, Vic has a comment on Pickney. Yeah, that's not a guy. With Pickney, the guy that you're looking at is upside, right? And you're going, okay, in 2 years, because he has length, bend, and all that stuff off the edge, but he's not playing at 205 pounds. Yeah, that's a kid that's going to need at least a year to get some weight on him, if not more. Then you got to see. Excuse me. Then you got to see how he retains that weight. Like, how does he play with, so if we're strictly talking about next year, that's not a guy that I would personally factor in. That's what I'm saying. You say you might lose that mobility with the weight, and that's what I'm saying. So first you got to put the weight on it. First you got to put weight on him, and he has to be able to sustain the weight. Then you got to go, okay, well, now he has the weight on him. Can he actually function with the weight? So not saying he can't or won't, but it's not something that we're going to figure out, I don't believe, by August. Linebackers. We brought up Isaiah already. I know we got the Southern Miss guy. New linebacker coaching with Ernie. Blake Nicholson's still around. Who else? Chris Jones. Okay, yeah, that's the guy from Southern Miss. Chris Jones, Blake Nicholson. I feel like I'm missing some other linebackers. Who else is in that linebacking room? Is Omar Graham still around? Omar Graham still around? Is Omar Graham really still around? That's crazy. I know we lost Cryer. I forgot about Omar Graham. And I know everybody's excited about Jones. My thing is, and why I'm bringing up everybody else, is because Jones can't do it himself. So Blake Nicholson's got to be. So LaValle, that's a name that we didn't get to see last year. I think because of injury. And there's a guy that personally I thought the hype was unwarranted, but he was his. Oh, please don't say AJ Cottrell. Oh, he said AJ Cottrell. Oh my God. Let me tell you something. We better not see AJ on the field. If we see him or Donnie Herbert on the field again next year, well, yeah. But LaValle, I think I'm pronouncing that again right, or something similar to that. That's a guy that got a lot of hype when he transferred, and I didn't necessarily believe it was warranted. He was injured, so I won't hold that against him. But this is the year now, right? This is the year to show that all that hype, because everybody said the amazing game you had against UConn in some bowl game. People were flat out saying that dude was going to come in and be the best backer on the team. I'm not going to hold him to that standard. What I will say is this is going to be his year to he needs to have some production. AJ and Donnie, please hit they're walk-ons. They're not going to hit the portal. They just don't need to be playing, period. If I'm telling you, man, we better not see either one on the field. But regardless of how good people we think Chris Jones may or may not be, we're definitely going to need someone else, whether that's Blake Nicholson, Omar Graham, whoever has to step up. Maybe Isaiah Williams, maybe the true freshman gets out there and he's as good as advertised before the injury. So we will wait and see on that. Yeah, his brother is going to be a freshman. But maybe it's this guy. Maybe it's the Lavelle guy. Maybe he's the guy that complements Chris Jones. It's definitely possible. But someone else is. The point is, I agree. I kind of agree with everybody. I think Jones is a stud. I think Jones was a good get for Florida State and much needed get, and a guy who, might be 100+ tackler in this defense. The concern is simple. He can't be the only. If he's the only guy, then, well, you're not much different than you were last year, so to speak. It's my concern anyway. So I'm trying to look and see who's going to complement him, who's going to pair with him, and have some type of old school. I mean, there was a time where FSU used to have some pretty big time elite linebacking duos. You got the Nebraska kid. Do we think he's going to be good though? Because if I remember correctly about that guy from Nebraska, I don't. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe he played much at Nebraska. Right? Matt Cock? Who's Karen? Who is Karan Matcock? Oh, is that the freshman kid from Miami? Is that who you're talking about? Mayock? Or you might be saying his name right. I think that's who you're talking about. The freshman from Miami. Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, the Miami kid. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's who you're talking about. Yeah, Texas kind of made a run at him late. So that was interesting that FSU was able to keep him. So they got some options. They got some options. We'll definitely see how it pans out. The one position I'm not really worried about, believe it or not, is secondary. Because FSU always has talent in their secondary. With no Pat Surtain, let's see how that secondary looks now. I feel like every year the secondary is the most talented group on the defense. And to the defense of the secondary, to their defense, I don't care how good or talented we think they are. If the defensive line can't get pressure, well, you're just hanging your secondary out to dry at that point. If it isn't apparent, it should be to everybody. Football teams are built inside out. Football teams are built inside out. That's where FSU has to fix. FSU has to fix that. Probably got obviously Jabril at one corner. Probably Q at the other. They did do. I mean, they made some interesting additions in the portal. Where a lot of us, almost a lot of us, myself, I felt like they didn't need to address the portal as much as they did. You got Ashton Barker, right? He's either going to be, you say Rover. He's either going to be a Rover or one of the two safeties. If you think Barker takes Earl's role, which means KJ and with the kid from Alabama, was it Alabama State? One of the Southern Alabama? I forget what. But that guy, he's probably be the other safety, would be my guess. Jabril and who at the corners? Is it Q? Is it someone else? Who am I? I feel like we're missing. I mean, Charles Lester is an option. Zay is a player that I'm looking forward to. Zay's a tall, big corner. And I'm flat out looking forward to him for sure. 100% looking forward to Zay. I was actually shocked that he did not play a lot last year. That didn't make a lot of sense to me that he didn't play as much. Mekhi Jones from Duke. What about the kid from Alabama or Southern Alabama or Alabama State? Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? When I'm done. What about that? Y'all know who I'm talking about? Is he going to be the opposite? Is he a corner or a safety? I felt like he's a safety. Okay, so he's a corner, so he's going to start opposite of Rawls. So we think Q is not going to play? Or is he going to be a slot? Or do we have any expectations from Lester? What about true freshmen? FSU, as bad as FSU's been, FSU signed, in my opinion, one of its better DB prospects in a long time with I forget his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Do we see him on the field? Jamari Howard's another interesting name that we just haven't seen, so I don't know what the expectation for him would be. Who's Jit that I'm talking about? Who's the true freshman? Was a 5-star at one point. Yeah, him. What do we see him? Y'all think we see him at all? And you still have Howard. You still got Lester. The thing about the DB room is there's not a lack. There's never been a lack of talent or players. Again, can this defense of line? Oh my God! Can this defensive line actually help? we won't see him until his senior year. I'm hoping pass rush is if the pass rush is improved, that's definitely going to be a major plus uh, for these guys. How long have we been going live? That's the better question. I've lost track. A little bit over an hour and 30, something like that. Do we? I'm trying to think. Is there any other DBs that I'm missing out? But I think we covered most of them. I'm actually surprised Ricky Knight's still on the team. I'm low key actually kind of still I'm surprised about that. I will say that that's not a guy that I have much expectations for, though. If we see him, great. I don't really expect to, though. That's just me. And of course, we got the kickers and the punters. I'm not going to waste time really talking about that. Like, that is what it is. Based on the players, based on the talent that we really just named, my question becomes pretty simple. Based on all of that, what the fuck? Are we bullish on this, just the season in general? Where does FSU stack up? Where does FSU stack up? Let's just say in the ACC. Bro, what are you doing? Get out. That motherfucker. I'm over here dying. I guess that's the major question for me. We'll finish fourth or fifth. So who's the favorites in the ACC? Obviously, right? Miami's going to be one of the favorites. Who's the second best team? If Miami, do we all assume Miami's the best team in the ACC? If so, who's the second best team in the ACC? I think the ACC. I thought the ACC was wide open last year. I think the ACC might be more wide open this year. I can't think. I mean, you go into the season, it's Miami, SMU. Is NC State really supposed to be good? Is Duke like? Is that like what? How sad is that? That the state of the SEC is Miami, SMU, Duke, and NC State. Like that is hard for me to. It's hard to grasp that, in my opinion. And it's a shame that if you're Florida State, you can't put your name there. I didn't realize the ACC was that wide open, but when I sit back and think about it, yeah, I can't think of. Again, it's definitely Miami. Um, national champion, runner up, all that good stuff. But then, I don't know what the expectation for Clemson is this year. I have a feeling that it's not that high though. So not a lot of expectations for the Tigers. It can't be Duke, right? Duke lost their best player. I feel like Louisville is a better. Like if I had to predict, I feel like Louisville would be higher than Duke. Again, Duke lost their best player to Miami. I'm getting wrecked. Yeah, is it NC State really hyped up? Louisville to me though. Yeah, Clemson's interesting. Clemson is 8-4. Miami's going 9. Let me say Miami's going 8-4. Louisville 9-3. Clemson 8-4. So what's Florida State going? As long as NC State has the QB. That's okay. So I'm gonna just say this about Buddy. Um, and maybe it's just me. Um, I don't think the Jit from NC State is all that good. I watched him a decent amount last year. I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head. But I'm sorry, I don't. It's just me. I don't know if he's all that good. Is it Bailey? Isn't that his name? Kid from NC State. I'm trying to think of his name. I think it's C.J. Bailey, right? Isn't that his name? Yeah, you just put C.J. Bailey. Yeah, to me, I don't think he's as good. I don't think he's all that good. I really don't. Maybe I'm off, but I watched him. I wasn't impressed. Who is Clemson's quarterback? That's actually a good question. Who is predicted to be Clemson's quarterback this year? Anybody know? I didn't even think about that because old buddy's gone, right? Great question. Who is Clemson's quarterback? Man, I'm getting my ass killed. Anthony Vizina. Vizina is the guy who was a backup to club. Okay. Okay. So we'll see how that. Well, I guess we'll have to just see how that plays out. But what's up, Ray? This is I'm playing the division, just chilling, Talked a little bit of football tonight. I'm trying to get this mission done so I can get up out of here. I mean, everybody would be hoping for the second coming of the best quarterback in the history of their program. What FSU wouldn't do for the second coming of Jameis Winston. Shit. So yeah, I know that's what they're hoping for. We'll see if they get it. God, bruh. See, this game is cheating, bruh. Who's Clemson running back? It's a good question, but this is the thing. This this is the bigger theme. When you start looking around college football, there used to be a time where you knew who the starters were, you knew who the incumbents were, right? You knew like who the backups were, and you anticipated that. Like when you look around college football now, man, you don't know. Nobody knows who anybody is. You don't know anymore. We don't know, bruh. What the flip? I'm about done. It's hard. It's hard to follow this crap anymore. You don't know who nobody is because everybody's transferring out. Like if you look at Florida State's offense, you go, in all honesty, you look at FSU's offense and you just sit and you'll go, who are half of these people? Nobody in that quarterback room was recruited at Florida State, with the exception of Sperry. Is the mic back? I don't know if the mic's back or not. But this was kind of fun. I mean, it was not my typical live stream, but figured I'd just hop on here, talk a little bit while I play the game, because I don't have this. I don't have the setup right now to really do the live stream that I would normally do. So I figured I can do this. Um, so yeah, that was kind of the game plan here tonight. Um, I feel like I say this all the time. Yo, I'm gonna start trying to do these lives more often. Just life be lifing, y'all. life be getting in the way. And but now that the spring is here, and while we won't get a spring game, we'll definitely get. And I think practices are also going to be closed with the exception of a few. So we're going to have to take a lot of that stuff and dissect it and anticipate who, what, when, where, and why. Um, yeah. So I will, again, I keep attempting to no, I haven't moved. Just been working, but I haven't moved. Um, a lot of stuff going on, obviously. A lot of stuff going on in the world that affects everybody. So, like I said, life be lifing. Um, man, okay. But yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here. How much more sporadics BS do we have? I don't think. I'll answer that by saying, Joe, how much did you see of them last season? You probably won't see a lot of them this year either. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here, and I'm gonna get back with y'all as soon as possible, y'all. Y'all stick with me, and I appreciate y'all that do stick with me. Um, Again, just a lot of stuff been going on. So anyway, it's your boy Polk over here on 863 Central TV. If you like the whole gaming thing while we talk football, let me know. I mean, that might be something I can do more on a more regular basis. If not, I get it. It's not the typical show that I do. But I'm going to get up out of here, and y'all be easy. Have a good rest of your night. Go Knowles. I just got to cut this thing off. Let's see here.